I definitely had doubts when I heard of the sequel, but now that I see the trailer, okay, maybe it won't be so bad. What's up, everybody? So here's my trailer review for 28 Years Later, The Bone Temple. Still written by Alex Garland, produced by Danny Boyle, this time directed by Nia DaCosta. Now, when I first heard of the sequel being made, as I mentioned earlier, I was just not looking forward to it, mainly because Danny Boyle was not going to be directing, that it was going to be Nia DaCosta. Now, you gotta also take that with a grain of salt because the only thing that I know Nia DaCosta from is from the Marvels, and we all know the quality of that particular movie. But there was also a part of me that did want to give her a bit of grace because I think mostly every director that is competent in any way, once they enter a big tent like Marvel, it all just kind of goes away. And I don't think it's their fault. But in this particular situation, at least from what the trailer looks like, from what the trailer feels like, I think it's really gonna give her the opportunity to shine for the skilled director that I think she is. Mind you, I only know her from Marvel, so I don't know what else she can do. But from the look of it, I mean, it's looking good. You know what I mean? So Alex Garland, he's back, and that's like I think probably the most important piece in my eyes. You need a consistent voice, and I think the writer of movies such as this, especially in the sequel range, you need to have that consistency. And Alex Garland he's special. He has a voice. And so to have him continue telling the story in written form, I think will go a long way into making sure that it all blends together and there's not too much, dissonance as far as tone is concerned from all the other movies. I'm really liking that it looks like Ray Fiennes is going to be the main protagonist in this story. I like the fact that it seems like the main antagonist of the story is Jimmy and his crew from the previous 28 years later, and not necessarily the zombies. Yes, I'm going to call them zombies still. Um, because the whole allure, at least for me, and I'm not unique in this, of zombie movies is not the zombies themselves. It's what the situation of having zombies does to the humans and how they become less human themselves. And then you see how the rules of the world change. You know, I still remember in the beginning of The Walking Dead where there was that one character, I believe his name was Dale, and he just kept trying to keep civilization alive, so that way things don't devolve into what it eventually ended up did evolving to. He wanted to keep the democracy. Let's show hands. Let's vote. All of that jazz. And then at some point, I believe it was at the end of season 2 or 3, where Rick says, "This is not a democracy." So they finally had to embrace the fact that, look, things have changed. Society is not what we are used to. We need to make a change if we're going to survive because that is number one priority, not quote unquote civilization. And it looks like that is the world in which we are dropped in with the Bone Temple. And I'm very curious to see how it all plays out because from the trailer itself, having the alphas and Ray Fiennes kind of joined forces, and then you have Jimmy and his crew and the kind of havoc that they're going to be wreaking across the land. I'm looking forward to it. It's looking really good. What about you guys? Let me know what you think in the comments below. Smash that like button, give me a follow, and I'll see you guys next time.